Hello. If you are trading or even just considering trading with a country, it is always advisable to review the economic conditions in that country. This is especially true when, like Ukraine, an economy is experiencing significant change. Therefore, we decided to provide this overview of the Ukrainian economy and its trading profile. This necessarily will be a high-level discussion. If you need a more detailed understanding of the current economic situation, if you go to the Exporters Almanach's Ukrainian country profile, you will find all the resources you need to do this. The link to the country profile is included in the description below. Of course, Ukraine suffered immensely in 2022. This has required a significant restructuring and rebuilding of the Ukrainian economy, which cannot be achieved overnight. However, you will see that the economy is definitely improving and actually growing. So, let's move to the next slide, where I will set out in more detail what this video presentation will cover. The presentation will cover the following topics: a macroeconomic overview of the Ukrainian economy. As I said, there's hard evidence that things are improving. The negative and the positive indicators. There is still a lot to do. The overall Ukrainian international trade figures. These will give you a feel for where the main trading opportunities lie, both for importing as well as for exporting, Ukraine's strengths, the industry sectors where Ukraine is competitive internationally, government support for specific industrial sectors. From this, you will see where further developments and opportunities may lie. I make a special reference to the IT and high-tech sectors. These figures do not really appear in the official international trade statistics, but believe me, there is significant potential here for partnering with Ukrainian companies. Finally, I provide some personal overall conclusions as to the state of the Ukrainian economy and where the opportunities for international cooperation lie. Okay, let's have a look at those macro figures. There is no hiding the fact that the war with Russia is having a profound impact on the Ukrainian economy. But we have succeeded in stabilizing the situation, and in certain areas we can see signs of growth. Let's look at each of these indicators. The first thing to note is the fall in population. In 2021, before the attack, the Ukrainian population stood as just over 44 million people. In 2023, this has fallen to 37.7 million, representing a loss of just over 6.5 million. That's over 17% of its pre-war population, the majority of whom are women and children. Males between the ages of 18 and 60 are not allowed to leave Ukraine without special permission. This emigration, added to the huge numbers of people who are enrolled in the military, has resulted in a significant labor shortage. This is one of the reasons why we need foreign participation in our public sector rebuild program. However, you can see the first signs of population growth of 200,000 last year. This is mainly due to the number of refugees who have returned home. I should also say that Ukraine has also lost about 20% of its territory and suffered major damage to its infrastructure in the unoccupied areas, causing additional strain on overall economic activity. There was a significant drop in GDP in the first year of the war, but this is now growing not just in absolute terms but also in per capita terms. You can also see that the only year where there was a fall in economic growth was 2022, and even then it was a fall of less than 4%. Since then, the economy has grown. The exchange rate has been managed, keeping the hryvnia reasonably stable, and our foreign currency reserves, thanks to Western support, have remained very healthy. This means that Ukraine continues to be able to pay for its imports, and initial controls on foreign currency payments have been significantly eased. Foreign debt has grown, primarily because of the need to buy weapons. Inflation and interest rates were very high in 2022 but have been brought under control and are manageable. Therefore, notwithstanding the drop in population, loss of territory, and damage to our infrastructure, it is significant that the Ukrainian economy has been so resilient. Overall, the economy has absorbed the shock of war and remained relatively stable. A key factor in this economic stability has been the Ukrainian success in keeping its sea routes open, allowing for the export of its commodities, especially agricultural products. Furthermore, although all air cargo has stopped, despite occasional problems, the land routes by rail and road have also been kept open. Waterborne traffic is still operational and is growing. For more details, see the video Ukrainian logistics. Nonetheless, there are understandably negative economic indicators, as we will see in the following slides, together with the factors which provide a more positive outlook. The figures and statistics that I will show you are sources from Focus Economics and the ITC's trade map. Links to both these services are included in the description below. The negatives and the positives. Let's deal with the negatives first. In addition to the fall in population, although GDP per capita has increased, poverty has also increased significantly. This affects an additional 1.8 million people. This represents nearly 24% of the population. This, together with a significant number of traumatized people, represents additional major social and economic challenges. Agricultural output has fallen due to the loss of territory and labor shortage, resulting in a smaller harvest. Given the importance of agriculture to the Ukrainian economy, this represents a major loss to the economy. Also, as I said, there is a persistent labor shortage, and not just in the agricultural sector. This is due to the demands of the military and the exodus of so many working women. However, there are some positives to be seen already. The key factor is that Ukraine remains resilient. As seen previously, the government is successfully managing the economy. The slowdown has been stopped, and in certain areas growth is coming back. Financial support continues to be provided by Western governments and international institutions such as the World Bank, the IMF, and European governments and institutions. This support has been critical in helping the Ukrainian government maintain public services, as well as financing much-needed imports for defense, right? The message is that Ukraine is open for business. In the next 3 slides, we will look at Ukraine's foreign trade in goods. However, if you are more interested in the rebuilding of infrastructure and how you can participate there, then do have a look at the playlist, Rebuild Ukraine Public Sector Projects. Let's first look at Ukraine's exports. Here we see the significant impact that the war has had. The value of exported shows a fall of $28.4 billion or nearly 48% between 2021 and 2023. However, in 2024, we managed to stop the fall and actually increased exports by over 10% on 2023. On the next slide, we'll have a quick look at the 3 main industry sectors where Ukraine is especially competitive internationally. As you saw on the previous slide, Ukraine's economic strengths are rooted in the following sectors: agricultural and food processing. Ukraine is known as the breadbasket of Europe due to its fertile soils, extensive arable land, and long-established agricultural traditions. The combination of cost-competitive production, improving logistics infrastructure, and rising compliance with European and global standards makes Ukrainian agri-food products highly sought after in numerous international markets: metallurgy, steel, and mining. Ukraine's abundant natural resources, iron ore, coal, and manganese, and long-standing industrial base have supported a strong metals and mining sector. Ukrainian steel and metals remain competitive, particularly in price-sensitive markets. The sector is adapting to meet international quality standards, increasingly producing semi-finished and value-added products for European and Asian buyers. Machinery and aerospace. Ukraine has a historical legacy in aerospace and heavy machinery manufacturing. The engineering expertise, R&D capabilities, and a well-established ecosystem support complex industrial outputs. Although not as large as agricultural or metallurgical sectors, niche aerospace products, turbine and engine components, and heavy machinery have found markets internationally due to their technical sophistication and competitive costs. For a more detailed profile of specific goods and materials that may interest you, we would recommend that you check these details on the ITC trade map. The link is provided in the description below. On the next slide, we'll take a look at Ukraine's imports. Please note that these do not include defense products. Here, compared to exports, we can see a much smaller fall in imports. This is to be expected given Ukraine's needs during the war. This trade has been financed by Western aid, including grants of interest on Russian financial assets frozen by the West. Again, if you're interested in a more detailed breakdown or the statistics for a specific good, then check out ITC's trade map. It should also be pointed out that these figures do not show Ukraine's needs for specific infrastructure or machinery and equipment. You will get a much clearer picture of these from ITC's Rebuild Ukraine portal, where you can see the reconstruction projects that are being defined and prepared for tender. If you would like introductions to Ukrainian companies that have a particular profile, then check out our business matching service. We'd be happy to help. As will be shown in the following slides, the Ukrainian government provides support to favored sectors, therefore you can reasonably expect growth and trading opportunities here. The Ukrainian government provides financial incentives for the following industry sectors: agriculture and food processing, The government provides soft loans and export facilitation measures and is keen to attract foreign investment, energy efficiency, renewables, and green transition. Ukraine's commitment to the European Green Deal and other international sustainability pledges has driven state support for renewable energy projects, defense and dual-use technologies. In light of ongoing security challenges, the government supports the defense industry and related R&D funding, procurement contracts, and partnerships with Western defense firms help this sector modernize and scale innovation. IT and high-tech startups. Although the IT sector's growth has largely been market-driven, the government is now introducing frameworks to support its expansion. Whereas we have concentrated on looking at goods in the previous slides, the next slide looks at the advantages of Ukraine's IT sector. Advantages of the Ukrainian IT and high sectors are as follows. Highly skilled workforce. Ukraine boasts a large pool of well-educated IT professionals with strong technical expertise. Ukrainian universities traditionally emphasize education in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, producing engineers, developers, and data scientists who are competitive in the global talent markets, cost competitiveness, and value for money. The IT sector in Ukraine provides high-quality services at comparatively lower costs than Western Europe or North America. This price-to-quality ratio makes Ukrainian software development, outsourcing, and IT consulting very attractive to foreign clients. Cultural and geographical proximity to Europe. Located at the doorstep of the EU, Ukraine's IT companies operate within a familiar business culture and time zone proximity that facilitates collaboration with European partners. Many IT professionals speak English and other European languages, easing communication barriers and project management, growing innovation ecosystem, and legal reforms. A rising number of tech hubs, accelerators, and venture capital funds are fostering entrepreneurship and product innovation. The Dia City initiative aims to create a special legal and tax environment that will enhance investor confidence, protect IP rights, and streamline business operations for startups and established IT firms. You will hear in later presentations about the development of legal reforms to promote the digitalization of the Ukrainian economy, as well as its ongoing harmonization of its laws with the EU. Ukraine's direction is clear. In the next slide, I'll make some final conclusions. The key conclusion is that despite the undoubted negative impact of the war with Russia, the Ukrainian economy, supported by the West, is resilient. The situation has been stabilized and there are now signs of growth. Ukraine continues to trade internationally. With regard to the Ukraine's economic profile, its strengths lie in its traditional area of agriculture, resource-based industries, sophisticated manufacturing, and now an increasingly robust IT sector. The government is moving to support the development of the economy with financial incentives for the above industries, as well as those dedicated towards renewable energy. There is no doubt that there have been significant developments in the legal environment supporting integration with the EU and the development of the digital economy. This further facilitates trade with the West. The overall outlook once the war with Russia ends is bright. In the meantime, despite everything, Ukraine is most definitely open for business. Well, thank you for watching the video, Ukrainian economic and trade profile. I hope you now have a good understanding of the macroeconomic situation in Ukraine. In particular, I hope you can see that Ukrainian economy is sustainable and open to trade. From this, I hope that you can see areas where you could participate. Please visit our website to learn more and let us know how we can help. The contact details are shown on this slide and in the description below. If you found this video useful, it would greatly help us if you could click on the like button and subscribe to our channel to stay updated. Also, please share this video and playlist with your colleagues and business contacts. We would really appreciate that. Above all else, remember ICC Ukraine and our partners are here to help. My name is Oleksii.k. Together we can build a better future. I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you again for your interest.